You know that feeling after a massive holiday dinner? You ate too much turkey, too much pie, and now you are sitting on the couch, unbuttoning your pants, regretting every life choice that led to this moment? We call it a food coma. We call it gluttony. But humans are amateurs, absolute amateurs. If you want to see what real, lethal overeating looks like, you have to go to the twilight zone of the ocean. You have to meet a fish that doesn't just eat until it is full, it eats until it bursts. This is the story of the black swallower, the only animal on Earth that treats every meal like it is the last one, because it usually is. The setting is the mesopelagic zone, about 3,000 feet down. It is a world of eternal gloom. There is no sunlight here, only the faint, ghostly twinkle of bioluminescence from strange jellies and lanternfish. It is cold, it is high pressure, but mostly it is empty. This is the desert of the ocean. Finding a meal down here is like finding a winning lottery ticket in a gutter. It almost never happens. So when evolution designed the predator for this zone, it didn't worry about manners. It worried about capacity. Enter the black swallower, Chiasmodon niger. It is not a big fish. It is actually quite small, usually less than 10 inches long. It looks like a burnt stick floating in the water. It is pitch black, scaleless, and ugly. But the size is a trick. This thing is a biological TARDIS. It is bigger on the inside. The head of the black swallower is a weapon system. The skull is tiny, but the mouth is enormous. The jaws are loosely hinged, capable of swinging wide open, far wider than the body itself. Inside those jaws are rows of needle-sharp teeth. But these teeth have a specific design flaw for the prey. They are recurved. They point backward towards the throat. This is a ratchet mechanism. Once something goes into that mouth, it cannot back out. It is a one-way street to doom. Let's watch a hunt. The black swallower is drifting. It is conserving energy. It is essentially a floating stomach with fins. Its lateral line, a sensory organ running down its side, picks up a vibration. Something is moving in the dark. It is a snake mackerel, a long, fast, vicious fish. And here's the kicker. The snake mackerel is big. It is twice the length of the swallower, and probably 4 times the weight. In any other ecosystem, the swallower would flee. A cat does not attack a German shepherd. But here, the rules are different. Here, size doesn't matter. Appetite matters. The swallower approaches from below. It is stealthy, invisible in the black water. It strikes. It doesn't bite a chunk off. It bites the head. The jaws extend, snapping over the skull of the mackerel. The mackerel thrashes. It fights. It is stronger than the attacker, but the teeth are locked in. The swallower begins to walk its jaws over the prey. Left side, right side, left side. It pulls itself over the victim like a sock being pulled over a foot. This is where the biology gets horrific. The stomach of the black swallower is made of a material that defies logic. It is super elastic. It is distinct from the rest of the body tissue. As the massive prey is forced down the throat, the stomach expands and expands and expands. It stretches so tight that the skin becomes transparent. It hangs below the fish like a grotesque balloon. The process takes time. It is a slow-motion struggle. The mackerel suffocates inside the stomach, folded over on itself. The swallower is now carrying a load that effectively triples its body mass. Imagine a human eating a whole cow in one sitting. Not a steak, the whole cow, hooves and all. That is the scale we're talking about. The swallower drifts away, heavy and bloated. It looks ridiculous. The tiny head and tail are attached to a massive distended sphere. Through the thin, stretched membrane of the stomach, you can clearly see the curled-up body of the victim. You can see its eyes. It is a macabre display case, showing off the meal to the rest of the ocean. But this is where the story turns into a tragedy of physics. The black swallower has won the lottery. It has consumed enough calories to survive for months, maybe a year. It should be set for life. But nature has a cruel sense of humor. The digestion process in the deep, cold ocean is slow. Enzymes work at a crawl when the temperature is near freezing. But rotting produces gas. In a normal meal, the fish could burp it out or absorb it. But this meal is too big. The gas builds up. It inflates the stomach even further. The swallower becomes buoyant. This is the burp of death. The fish loses control of its altitude. It starts to float. It doesn't want to go up. Up is dangerous. Up is where the sun is, where the birds are, where the pressure changes will kill it. It fights. It tries to swim down, but the gas bubble is too strong. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The physics of buoyancy take over. The predator is dragged towards the surface. As it rises, the pressure drops. Boyle's law kicks in. The gas inside the stomach expands even more. It's a runaway train. The stomach stretches to the breaking point. The internal organs are crushed. The heart is squeezed. The fish is alive, fully conscious, being dragged into the light by its own gluttony. Most of the black swallowers we have found were not caught in deep-sea nets. They were found floating dead on the surface of the ocean. They are found by fishermen or sailors, bobbing in the waves like weird organic buoys. And every single one of them has a burst stomach. Every single one of them has a meal inside that is perfectly intact, while the predator is dead. It is the ultimate irony. It died of success. This phenomenon tells us something profound about the deep sea. It tells us that starvation is the default state. The fear of starving is so powerful, so ingrained in the DNA of these creatures, that they have evolved to ignore the risk of overeating. The instinct says, eat it all right now, because the instinct doesn't know if another meal will ever come. The brain of the fish cannot comprehend too big. It only comprehends food. The transparency of the stomach is a detail that haunts marine biologists. It is not just about capacity, it's about the visibility of the act. When you look at a specimen in a jar, you're looking at a snapshot of a murder-suicide. You see the perpetrator and the victim locked together forever. The victim killed the perpetrator from the inside out, simply by rotting. It is biological revenge. The black swallower is not the only one, but it is the most extreme. Gulper eels do it too. Anglerfish do it. But the swallower is the poster child for deep-sea greed. It represents a life on the edge. It is a gambler. Every time it attacks a large fish, it's betting its life. If it digests the meal before the gas builds up, it wins. It lives another year. If the rot wins, it floats and dies. It is a coin toss played with flesh and gas. There's a lesson here about limits. Nature imposes limits, even in the lawless deep. You can evolve a jaw that unhinges. You can evolve a stomach that stretches like rubber. But you cannot cheat chemistry. You cannot cheat the rate of decay. The black swallower tries to break the rules, and it pays the highest price. The visual of this creature is the stuff of nightmares. It is small, yes, but imagine if it was the size of a shark, a great white shark that could swallow a whale whole, that could swim around with a transparent belly showing the whale inside. It would be the most terrifying thing on the planet. Thankfully, the swallower stays small. It stays deep. Next time you feel full, next time you think you overdid it at the buffet, remember the black swallower. Remember the fish that drifts in the dark, looking for a meal that is likely to kill it. It is a creature of pure, unfiltered instinct. It is a slave to its own hunger, and in the unforgiving dark of the ocean, that hunger is both its greatest weapon and its inevitable executioner. The story ends with the image of a dead swallower floating on the surface. The sun beats down on it, drying out the black skin. The stomach is ruptured. The prey has fallen out, half digested. The birds are circling overhead, ready to pick at the remains. The cycle continues. Nothing is wasted. The glutton becomes the meal. The predator becomes the prey. And the ocean keeps its secrets, waiting for the next hungry mouth to open too wide in the dark.